All right. Hard fought win tonight, and first I got a ton of respect for Mike New and a ton of respect for the Ball State program, and I thought they fought hard tonight and made it really challenging on us, and we knew they would. But again, hats off to them for playing us down to the margins and making it really challenging in all three phases. I'm proud of our team for finding a way to win. I think it wasn't as clean as we wanted it to be, and we missed opportunities to separate. I think about our possession at the end of the first half where we had a chance to go to 21-7, and we just weren't able to punctuate. Obviously, the opening possession of the second half, another chance to separate. And I think capitalizing on those situations gives us a chance to put some distance between us and Ball State and change the narrative around, the finish. But we didn't do that. Also, some not a ton of penalties, but a couple of critical ones. One on the goal line that went from, basically two opportunities to get 1 yard to a 3rd and 6. And so things that we can clean up. I also felt like in the first half we were playing on long fields. I think, again, credit to Ball State. They were able to, drive possession to midfield, punt to pin. They executed the pin punts, and we played from backed up, and that's never a part of the formula. So, again, I credit them with making it hard. I wish we would have taken advantage of some of those opportunities to put some distance between us and them. But I'm also proud of the way the team fought back. I thought, aside from the opening possession in the first half and the opening possession in the second half for our defense, we came up with critical stops. We performed better on third down. I saw some young guys step up and make plays. I thought C.J. Taylor had a couple of physical snaps in there that kind of set the tone for us. Nick Rinaldi, another productive day. And then, between Dante Carter and Jalen Lackey coming up with some big man-to-man stops for us. That's two young players that are playing important roles. And Randon Fontenette, another one that there in the fourth quarter, into the third, fourth, activating him a couple times and, being a difference for us. Offensively, it was, we found some room in the passing game. We struggled a little bit in the running game. There's some hard fought yards in there, but a lot to say about Eli Stowers' performance. 130 yards, 95 after the catch. Again, another good night for him, and I'm glad he's with us. Brock Taylor with some big kicks and really did a great job on kickoffs. Martel Height with some critical returns. So, again, you look at the second half and our ability to separate. We flipped the field with our punt return unit, and that gives us a chance to play on shorter fields and gives us opportunities to be explosive and to score touchdowns. And it takes the team. And so that's all three phases coming together, closing the game out. Anytime you're kneeling a game out, especially on your home field, it's special. We're going to celebrate it, and then we're going to turn our attention quickly to Texas. With that, I'm happy to open up. If there are any questions, that was quite the rundown.
Very detailed.
Go ahead.
Hi, Coach. So you're coming off of 3 wins in a row, 2 of those being SEC. What is y'all's mindset heading into Texas, who is currently losing to Georgia in the end of the third quarter?
It doesn't really change. I know the team's going to be excited to play. So what we're going to do is get back in our process, and we're going to focus on how we learn from tonight and ways we can elevate our performance, whether that's in our design, the structure, our execution, because we're going to have to play a better game against a really good opponent. And independent of their game tonight or our game tonight, we reset on Sunday and we go at it all over again. It's one of the healthiest parts of this journey is just this necessary reset week in, week out. So we take the learning forward. We focus on our next climb. That's Texas. And what I'm interested in is not so much who they are or what they do. It's who we are and what we do, and us playing to our identity and our strategy next week. And we're going to use every day from now until then to be at our best.
This sets up, arguably the biggest game in program history. Do you think your guys were looking ahead at all to that based on how they played earlier in the game and kind of sluggish?
I don't want to speak to the unseen. What I saw in the week was a focused team, and I thought I didn't feel this way against Georgia State. I felt like we were distracted, and our prep suffered because of it. This week was a good week. Now, did I like the energy that we came out with? No. Did it feel flat? Yes. I know what this team looks like when we're, firing on all cylinders. So, I believe that I'm not going to need to worry about that next weekend. We were good enough tonight to come out with a good result and maybe not have our A-level energy. But that'll be something we talk about tomorrow, because that's part of the learning, and again, how many times do you have to be in these games to realize that, like, there is never an opportunity where you can come out and play, out of focus from your identity or at a low energy level and expect to win. We did enough tonight to win, and that is a credit to the players, but certainly I didn't love the energy level, and that'll be something we talk about.
Ball State had a couple of long touchdown drives. Do you think it was more about what they did on offense, or more about what you guys did defensively?
Well, it's always going to be a combination. The first one, we just were behind the ball. I mean, it was a throw to the flat where we're not contesting the space. We're kind of absorbing the contact. So, 1st and 10 goes to 2nd and short, we need to get them to 2nd and 7+. A cloud situation where we lose the flat route, and, just the hidden yards in there, those are execution things. We went to a little more man after that first series just to get on body. And even then, I felt like a couple times on the touchdown drives, we lost the back out. In fact, the very next drive, we lose the back out on the first play. It's a chunk gain to midfield. I mean, it's just those are not things that we need to spend a lot of time on tomorrow. That's got to be a part of our day in, day out execution. And then, I thought they had good design too. The flea flicker they hit. They executed. They executed on their shot plays. I felt like we missed on ours, and we had a chance on Richie Hoskins on a glance route that was there, and it looked like it was just out of sync. We had a chance on the trail play to Eli that we just overthrew. We had another one, I believe it was junior open, where we just were off the mark there. So, we have to do a better job of hitting on our shots. They did on theirs, and that's what allowed them to play us to the margins, But certainly some things defensively we can look at, both in design and in execution, to be better from those drives.
You mentioned this offseason ball security over and over again. You guys didn't turn it over again tonight, only twice on the season. How much margin is that giving you?
Well, I would have liked to have gotten them turned over. That was one of our big three for tonight, and we weren't able to do that defensively. But certainly, you look at that game, and again, the way we won it, I think there's ways and there's areas we could have, like I mentioned earlier, separated, but not turning the ball over becomes huge. And anytime, if you go back to the Georgia State game and you think about how we opened that game with a turnover, I mean, those become just critical snaps. So we're a team that's not beating ourselves right now, and that's going to, in college football, that's going to go a long way in positioning you at least within striking distance for the results you want. Obviously, as we stare down the teeth of our schedule coming up, in the next 5 games starting with Texas, we can't lose that aspect of our identity. Ball security is going to be huge, and we have to generate possessions defensively too.
Pavia's, completion percentage was quite a bit lower tonight than usual. Is there anything specific that kind of went into that? Is he still, maybe feeling the effects of the injury last week?
No, certainly I don't think it's anything physical. I think again, he's allowed to have a night where he's not. We're going to have off nights at times, and not even to say that, Aria, because I got to watch the film and kind of dig into it. I felt like we had some open targets that we just missed the mark a couple times. To Ball State's credit too, they disrupted the ball at the line of scrimmage. So some of those are batted balls. we had a third down to Seti that we just missed on a swing pass. I think that was our opening drive of the second half. So again, it's going back and saying, hey, we got to find these inches in our prep. But I mean, shoot, that dude's been on the entire season, and if he has one night where he misses the mark a couple of times, we need to be able to pick him up too. He had some huge runs, some huge scrambles, and made some big connections on passes too. And obviously for Eli to have the night that he had, Diego's a part of that. So I don't see that there's anything physically to it, and I'm excited to have him with us next weekend.
It seems like defensively there was a lot of like pre-snap confusion, especially in the first half. Does that have to do with you've got inside linebacker moving down the edge and some guys who are out, or is it something all stay
There was at the start of the second half, we had them backed up, and I was late getting a call in, and that created a little bit of confusion. That's on me. I specifically to the first half, I'm gonna have to look and kind of look at the film and see what it tells me. I mean, we were doing some defensive shifting and some coverage shell change that created a little bit of post-snap decision for the quarterback, but it didn't stand out to me as something that was a distraction. I think, again, outside of 2 drives, the defense was pretty dialed in and did what we needed to do, but I'll certainly take a look at that.
What does it say about Eli Stowers that you guys can go to him over and over again on third down, even when it feels like teams kind of know it's coming?
Well, he knows how to get himself open. He's a big target, and he's got great hands. And, again, I think one of the awesome parts about Eli is, again, 95 yards after the catch. So a tough physical runner, too. I mean, he bounces off tackles. And, he and Diego have chemistry from a year ago that they've carried here. I think Eli's has really developed his game here. The first kind of full year as a tight end and in the tight end room. And like I've always said, I'm glad he's here, and I think there's actually a higher level for him. He's just got to keep pushing towards it, but certainly a dependable target and a guy that I'm glad is on our team.
All of your games this season against FBS opponents have been within 10 points. Do you think there's anything kind of valuable learned in playing so many close games like that in terms of being able to pull those out?
Well, I look at it as we didn't do enough against Georgia State to come out with a win, and that was painful for us. We did enough tonight to be 10 points better, and the team. I kind of got on the team a little bit in the locker room because they weren't celebrating like we need to celebrate. I mean, to win a game, like I said, we're not so entitled to winning that we don't know how to. I mean, this is hard, and we put so much time and energy into it. But yeah, I mean, I think I love the fact that we have grown enough from that early loss to be where we are now, where we can close the game out. And yet I'm not satisfied with that performance, and neither is our team. So we continue to learn, Arya, and we continue to push forward. But some of those narratives for me is like I don't see. I want the energy level to be higher, but I'm not looking at it as a Power 4 game versus FBS versus a SEC game. Like we have to learn to play with a consistency and to a standard every time we take the field.
Last week was you guys were 26th in the AP poll, and the program hasn't been ranked since 2008. You could be ranked tomorrow. Is that something that would mean anything to you, or is that just something externally you're not really paying attention to?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you could probably answer that for me. Look, all the attention that we've gotten, the fact that people are paying attention to our program. I thought we had a nice crowd tonight. Again, I want to credit the student section for being there and for showing up for us. And I want to thank everyone that came out and supported Vanderbilt football tonight. So none of that is lost on me, and I'm grateful for it all. And we talked about this in our meeting before the game, external narratives. I mean, people celebrate results. They affirm results. and but they don't actually know kind of the inner workings of who we are and what we do, the level of commitment and work ethic it's taken us to get to this point, the level of belief and passion that we poured into this, and then the chemistry and connection we built as a team. So external narratives change with the wind, right? Internal strength is what we're after, and if we've done enough to get across the line to enter the polls, great. But we are certainly not focused on that right now. We're focusing on continuing to strengthening internally and continuing to solidify this identity that's going to allow us to go after more. And again, we appreciate the support, we appreciate the attention, and it's not lost on me. We've earned the right to be in the conversation, but for me, it's all about how we're, again, strengthening internally to go after more.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.